Hey y'all, this is my Insecure review for season 5, episode 2. The episode is titled Growth, okay? And I forgot to mention that in the first episode that the running theme in the titles this season is going to be okay. So yeah. Anywho, so the episode opens with a montage of basically time passing by. And then before you know it, we're at 1 year later, where with both of the ladies, we can tell this is going to be a Issa and Molly centered episode. So then we get a back and forth of Issa and Molly's morning routine. One of the first changes we immediately notice is that Issa's program, The Block, is at 10,000 followers and is getting more popular. And what we immediately notice about Molly is she chopped all her hair off and she looks good. And most of the time, I would think when a woman, particularly a black woman, cuts her hair off, it means starting fresh. Or ladies, if you chopped your hair off, let me know in the comments why you did it and what does it symbolize to you. Molly's place is gorgeous. She's clearly rich. What we also notice with Issa is it looks like her work life is definitely picked up and she's doing more events. With Molly, it looks like she has a great rapport with her colleagues. I remember last season she was beefing with most of them. This scene with Issa and this girl like, you saved my life. The get out face, just so creepy. Oh, and what's most noticeable is Issa and Molly's friendship is back on track. Wow, they're really back on track. I mean, spending the night by each other's houses, sleeping in the same bed. I mean, when's the last time you slept in the bed with your best friend? I can't remember. I just like my personal space, and then I'm a tall MFer, you know? I love my space in my bed. So, yeah, my best friend hitting the couch. They understand. Oh, the music. Never disappoints. So next scene we're with Issa and she's at the shop that Nathan works at. And this is Nathan's first appearance this season. Just letting y'all know now, I'm not Team Nathan. I really actually don't like Kendrick Sampson on this show. And I really can't see him and Issa together. I don't know, it's just so hard. And then I also think he's like gay in real life, so it's hard for me to even imagine him with Issa personally. I'd rather see him with, I don't know, me or another male character on here. But I mean, hey, Issa has great taste on putting men on this show. Look, if I saw Kendrick Sampson, I mean, I would cast him too. So far, it looks like Issa's just giving Nathan advice on holding events. Here they go already, flirting. As Issa and Nathan are at dinner, again, they make it apparent to us that Issa's doing really well being an entrepreneur. Next scene, we're with Molly. She's with her parents at a family event. So as she's trying to get her parents to get on estate planning, I'm guessing like for a will or whatever, we see Molly's mom obviously trying to play matchmaker with one of the people she know at their church. Oh, this guy. Yeah, it's a no for me. That's somebody type. Not mine, or apparently not Molly's either, but you know, no one's really ugly. You know, there's somebody for everybody. Molly's mom is one of those moms that need her daughter to be married as soon as possible. So she's pushing Molly along to date. And Molly's like, she is not looking to date right now. She's working on herself. And I know exactly how that feels. Molly's mom is even going through a timeline. She was like, you gotta meet a man, you gotta date him. That's 2 years right there. Then you gotta propose to you. Then we gotta save for your wedding. I am so glad my mom stopped pressing me to have a family, especially knowing that I'm gay, and then me telling her that I do not want kids. So this guy that Molly's mom is trying to hook Molly up with, he works at the church and he does some of the songs, and he does gospel songs that are inspired by trap music. And he plays a song for Molly, Jesus gang, Jesus gang, Jesus gang. How can you even say that really fast? That's hard. Jesus gang, Jesus gang, Jesus gang. Jesus gang, Jesus gang, Jesus gang. Next scene, we're with Issa, and she's giving a proposal to a company whose sponsorship she needs. The client that Issa is representing is this formerly incarcerated fashion designer called Crenshawn, who is played by that sexy dark-skinned man who was in the Doja Cat video. He was in some other stuff too. I think a Tyler Perry show. I don't know his name, y'all. Let me look it up right quick. Oh, it's Kofi Cerebo. Yeah, I will never remember that name. I just remember him as the fine dark-skinned black guy that's in everything. So Issa nails the presentation, but the representatives of the company want her client to kind of like scale it down, water it down, make it more palatable and safe. And y'all know what that's code for. Issa explains to them the vision of her client, but they still want her to think about it and hopefully get her client to change some stuff. So next scene, we're at Molly's and Issa's coming over right after her presentation. They really are seeing each other like every day. They've become very codependent. Not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but at least they're friends again. As Issa walks in, she's on the phone with Nathan, helping him out about choosing a venue for his event. And then Molly notices and says, girl, I don't know. I don't think I could be friends with somebody that I was fucking. Issa assures her that it's just business between them, and besides, he has a bevy of bitches. I'm definitely going to steal that. A bevy of something. I will definitely find pleasure in using that in a sentence. So Issa is discussing her presentation with Molly, and clearly she's worried about the sponsors trying to make it white friendly. So Molly suggests to Issa, why don't you try to sell the idea to their boss so you can overstep them and get the boss on your side so you can make the event happen. Meanwhile, Molly's mom is still trying to hook her up with that frail gospel director. So next scene, we're with Molly. It's the next day. We see her going through a dating app. It looks like she's about to rejoin it, kind of like how I did recently and failed miserably. Maybe Molly will do better than I did. So then she's clearing her profile and reading what she used to put back in season 1 and 2 Molly days. Already she realized back then she was doing the most. So when she goes to fill out what she's looking for, we get a flashback to Molly just dumping guys that just weren't her type. Oh, I remember Jared. I loved Jared from Molly, and Jared was fine. Oof. And then the next column is dating me is like. And then we get an even more painful flashback of all the failed relationships Molly's been through. Yeah, I don't think she's going to finish filling out that dating app anytime soon. So next scene, we're with Issa. It looks like she took Molly's advice and she's having brunch with the president or the boss of the company. Now, what Issa didn't know is that the boss also invited the supervisor that she did the presentation for. Issa is gagged. Hey! Ooh. How is she going to navigate this? Yeah, this white guy, Seth, he's looking at her like, bitch, I see what you was trying to do. that look he giving her. So this white guy is definitely giving Issa some pushback on her ideas, but Issa then sells both of them by telling them that the risk will definitely pay off because if it goes well, or when it goes well, they'll have the opportunity to say that they discovered this hot designer. So even though it looks like Issa won them over, they still have notes they want her to relay to Crenshawn. Next scene, we're with Issa and she's at Crenshawn's headquarters. So Kofi is definitely distractingly fine, but he must be short in real life because him and Issa are like damn near the same height. Hey Siri, how tall is Issa Rae? Issa Rae is 5'9". Huh. So Issa tells Crenshawn that they got the sponsorship, and Crenshawn is very excited and saying, you know, nigga this and N-word that. Can't say the N-word too many times on YouTube. I'm not gonna get this shit flagged. I gotta take YouTube's notes on how to do my videos. So Crenshaw is very excited until Issa tells him that the company has a few notes and they want him to simplify his fashion show. Basically by making it more palatable. Unfortunately for Issa, Crenshaw is not taking kindly to any of the notes that UBW is giving him. He's even thinking about pulling out, and Issa doesn't want that, so she's trying to sell him on the idea. Whew, Issa's job, I don't want that. So first we see her, you know, trying to sell Crenshaw to the company, and now she's trying to sell the company to Crenshaw. Like, it's a hassle on both sides for her. Issa is saying what she gotta say to get that check. So again, we see that Issa is very good at her stressful job, and she finally sells Crenshaw on editing his show a bit. Next, we're with Molly at her place, and she's giving her mom a call just to let her know that she's sorry about pushing the estate on them so hard. She just cares a lot, and then Molly is definitely acknowledging her actions towards people more. Therapy does a body and mind good. Okay, her mom needs to stop talking about that gospel director to Molly. Now she's talking about his body parts. Next. So it's the next day and it's Issa's event. I still can't get over these paper bags with these black handkerchiefs tied at the top. Too clever. Okay, Molly, I love this outfit she's wearing. Really good. The costume designer on this show is putting in work. I also heard at the end, like the wine and dine after every episode, that the costume designer created all the fashions for this episode. So as Issa's doing an interview with this weird journalist, we see that her assistant is waving at her frantically to get her attention. So we find out from the assistant that Issa's run into a big problem. The problem being that Crenshawn didn't listen to any of the notes that she gave him. And he's gonna do whatever the fuck that he wants. So Issa confronts him and he's really nonchalant. He was like, you know, it wasn't working, so I'm gonna do what I want. He says he didn't tell her because he knew she'd try to talk him out of it. So they're kind of getting into it. They're going back and forth. Issa's saying like, I put my neck on the line for you. You're being unprofessional. And then Crenshawn is basically saying that he didn't need her help. He doesn't need a savior and he's not going to sell out. Implying that that's what Issa is doing as well. So yeah, the argument ends with Crenshaw basically going to do what he wants to do and Issa's just going to look by and watch. The Crenshaw show is beginning. Issa is a nervous wreck talking to Molly and then we see that white supervisor guy in the front row. I love that line. So Crenshaw went rogue? Like an X-Man, bitch. I love the writing on this show. Well, all right, so the fashion show starts out fine until the production begins. And I notice how all the audience is sitting on crates. Just very authentic. So then the lights go down, we have the drummers going out, and they're screaming, did all my invisible niggas go to heaven? The white guy looks pretty frightened. Did all my invisible niggas go to heaven? Issa is a nervous wreck. She's like, they're gonna fire me. They're never gonna make me work in this town again. She thinks she's gonna go back to Lyft. Honestly, I mean, the fashion show is kind of wild, but I mean, it's super authentic and watch the guy's gonna actually love the show. Now, personally, some of these fashions that I'm seeing, it's a no for me, dog. But yeah, I mean, it works for the story. How about that? So after the show is over, the white supervisor finds Issa and he actually tells her that he loves the show, to her surprise. I mean, we all saw this coming. What I would be surprised by is if he didn't like it and he fired Issa. So yeah, not only does the guy love the show, he also congratulates Issa and tells her that they hope to work together in the future. It's nice to get episodes where Issa's winning. I remember in season 2 and 3, we had a lot of episodes where Issa was losing. Afterwards, we see Issa and Crenshaw exchange glances. Crenshaw looks like, yep, I told you. So even though this is a win for Issa, I mean, something still looks checked out about her. Maybe the sellout comment kind of got to her and she's just thinking about it like, oh, am I a sellout? Did I lose my way trying to, you know, be an entrepreneur? The way she looking at that moon, it looked like she about to make a mistake. Yep, she picks up the phone and texts Nathan. What you up to? Next, we see Molly at a restaurant waiting on her date. I'm guessing she met a guy and he is fine. Fine. Who'll be picking the men for this show? Anywho, she's telling herself, embrace the change, embrace the change. Glad to see Molly is definitely trying to work on herself. And next we're back with Issa. It looks like Nathan took her up on having drinks. She's by her place. They're discussing her event and yeah, she's feeling some kind of way about it even though it was a win for her. It looks like Issa just wanted his company because she just fallen asleep on this guy. Nathan is pretty boring though, so I don't really blame her. So as Nathan says he's about to leave, Issa's like, why don't you spend the night? Oh Lord. And Nathan is down to spend the night. We then cut to Nathan and Issa in bed together. Issa's glad he came over. And then Nathan goes in for the kiss. And as they're getting hot and heavy, Issa just burst into tears. Like right in his mouth, started crying. So she's sobbing and apparently she says she's not ready. Is she still not over Lawrence or is it something else? That's immediately what I thought. Maybe she's just not over Lawrence yet? So she's apologizing to him profusely. He's like, don't worry about it. It's okay. Damn, I wouldn't have minded to see Kendrick Sampson in a sex scene. Oh well. So then it looks like a little time passed by. She fell asleep in his arms. She's then woken up by the door slamming and she notices that her bed is empty and Nathan just left. Like, damn, he could have just spent the whole night? Shit. That would make me feel worse. You don't even say bye, just leave in the middle of the night? I don't like that. All right, so Issa just turns over and stares at the ceiling, and that is where the episode ends. This episode was okay. I still love the writing. The humor was there. I felt like something was just missing this episode. Like maybe it needed Kelly and Tiffany. Like usually Insecure works when it's just all of the cast instead of it just focusing on one or two people. And speaking of that, I'm kind of nervous because we see a preview next week and it looks like it's going to be a Lauren-centered episode. Also, I was expecting that the Kofi guy was going to be another love interest for Issa because I was hoping that Issa would start dating other men and not going back to Nathan of all people. I don't know, I just really felt that this episode was missing something. I mean, of course I enjoyed it and I laughed, but I feel like I wanted more, you know? And I don't even think the episode felt short. It just felt like not that much happened. Like they were just focusing on one particular thing. That's it. I'm curious to know what y'all think in the comments. Did y'all like this episode? I mean, I thought it was okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give this episode a 7. A 7. It was just okay. Usually, I think my favorite episodes are the ones with all the ladies on it. But yeah, that's my review, y'all. Next up will be Salt Lake City. I will get to that as soon as possible after I finish editing this as well as Potomac. With that, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.